Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're looking at excerpts from Chapter 2 of Echoes of Lawson, The Price of Betrayal, and, well, we are jumping right into the deep end of a really dark story.
We really are. This isn't just a crime novel.
Yeah.
It's a breakdown of what happens when everything is rotten from the inside out. You know, friendships used as weapons, institutions totally corrupt, and then right at the center, a family just complicit in it all.
And our mission for this deep dive is to really unpack the main character, Greg's journey. It's this agonizing spiral.
Exactly. We need to figure out how his search for what he thought was justice, for revenge, just completely shattered his own life.
And in doing so, exposed this massive, horrifying web of deceit. It really blurs the line between the personal and the political, doesn't it?
Completely. One becomes the other.
So the story kicks off with this deceptive sense of freedom. It opens with Greg buying a car, a BMW 118 Sport.
Right. And the money is from a trust account. He's heading towards Stellenbosch, trying to leave everything, Lawson College, all of it, in the rearview mirror. It's supposed to be this simple of a fresh start.
An escape.
But the car is tainted from the very beginning, isn't it?
Yes.
I mean, the purchase itself is funded by the very corruption he's trying to run from.
That's a great point. The money feels dirty. It's tied to this whole system of wealth and lies he's fleeing.
So that luxury BMW, it's not really freedom. It's more like a high-speed cage made of his own inherited guilt.
Oh, yeah. High-speed cage. He's driving, trying to outrun his own history, but the source says the road just gives him too much time to think.
Of course.
The hum of the engine just can't drown out the memories. He's literally trapped in this machine he thought would save him.
So you have this intense conflict right away. He's got the physical needs of escape, but mentally, emotionally, he's completely stuck. He's already carrying the full weight of the truth he's uncovered.
Okay, let's shift to the origin of that truth. Because the architect of all this misery is a guy named Eckert Wilken.
Eckert.
He comes into Greg's life in their final year of school, their matric year, and he presents himself as this brilliant, persuasive friend, almost a mentor.
But friendship is absolutely the wrong word here. The source makes it clear this is a long-term, very calculated grooming process.
He wasn't interested in a friend.
No. He was building a weapon.
And he did that by teaching Greg these really complex, high-level hacking skills. On the surface, it looks like mentorship, maybe two smart kids bonding.
But it was a training program.
Yeah.
That's all it was. Designed to use Greg's own talent against him.
It's the ethics of it, you know. Eckert wasn't just teaching him how to code or break into systems. He was slowly normalizing the idea of it.
He was grooming his perspective on it.
Yes, exactly. So that when the moment came, Greg would just pull the trigger without really questioning the morality. He'd see it as a challenge or, you know, as a form of justice.
And Eckert's real motive.
Yeah.
This is where it goes from a personal betrayal to this huge political revenge plot.
He was never loyal to Greg. He was focused on avenging his own father.
And the scale of that original crime is just staggering. Eckert's father was a judge, a sitting judge who was murdered.
Murdered after presiding over a really sensitive insider trading case.
Right, and a massive bribe that was connected to that case failed to keep him quiet, so they silenced him permanently. Greg was just the pawn. He was the key Eckert needed to unlock that whole network and get his revenge.
So Eckert has his target, Dr. Pienaar. But the corruption isn't just some isolated thing. It's tied directly, fatally, to Greg's own family.
And that's the pivot. That's where external revenge just blows up an entire family from the inside.
Greg's whole world falls apart when his father finally tells him the truth. That Dr. Alec Pienaar, the principal of Lawson College, was the one overseeing the entire criminal operation.
This is where it gets so tragically complex, because you have to ask the question, was Greg's father a victim in all this?
Right. Was he being coerced by these powerful people?
And the source is definitive. No. Pienaar was the villain, the overseer. But Greg's father was deeply, willingly complicit. He was an active player in the insider trading in the bribery itself.
But wait, if he's tangled up with people who are powerful enough to murder a judge, doesn't that make him a victim too? I mean, even if he's a perpetrator of the financial crime, he's still caught in this ruthless power structure.
And that is the absolute horror that Greg had to live with. His father was both. He was a victim of a system that would crush him if it had to, and he was an active perpetrator who helped destroy Eckert's family.
He knew the stakes.
He knew the stakes, and he chose to play. The source really shows that with these powerful institutions, the lines are never clean. You can be a victim of it all while also enabling the very corruption that ruins other people. That's the gut-wrenching truth Greg had to carry.
And that weight, that inherited guilt, That's what Eckert used so perfectly. He trained Greg to be a hacker, knowing he was secretly aiming him like a missile, not just at Dr. Pinar, but at the foundation of his own family.
Which leads to the exposure of Project Nursery Rhyme. Greg uses the skills Eckert gave him, thinking he's finally striking a blow for justice.
He thinks he's exposing financial fraud, maybe covering his own family's tracks a little.
He pulls the lever.
But Project Nursery Rhyme, I mean, this is so much bigger than a bribe. The source it ramps things up massively. We're not talking about financial crime anymore. This is straight up domestic terror.
Precisely. It wasn't about money. It involved engineered flu shots, disguised as legitimate health care, and they resulted in countless deaths.
They were committing biological warfare under the cover of a public health initiative, using the school as a front.
So when Greg exposes it, he doesn't uncover a white-collar crime. He uncovers a malicious, murderous scheme.
And the most terrifying part is, in trying to do the right thing and expose Pinar, he accidentally implicates his own father. Not just in some financial scheme, but in a network that was facilitating mass murder.
His hack was a technical success. He hit the target. But the collateral damage was total annihilation of his own world.
It destroyed everything. The safety of his family, any chance of a normal life. It guaranteed his father would face the consequences for all of it.
And the fallout was instant. The arrests of both Greg's father and Dr. Alec Pinar. The family is just shattered. There's only silence, shame, and this mountain of unanswered questions.
The political rot just completely devoured the personal.
Which brings us back to the physical place where it all happened, Lawson College.
Yeah, Greg has to go back to get his things. He has to walk those same halls, but now he knows it was all a lie. The source says he felt like a ghost.
Haunting a life that was never real. And the reaction he gets at the school is so telling. You have the official face, Thomas Gene Lawson, the founder, calling Greg and his mom in to offer this very polite institutional sympathy.
A perfect PR move. Protect the brand.
Of course. But then you contrast that with the students. The source says so many of them just mocked him openly, to his face.
That's often the deeper betrayal, isn't it? The institution gives you empty words, but your community, your peers, they're the ones who really twist the knife.
It turns a simple act, just packing up your room, into this gauntlet of social cruelty.
And then the final blow, the absolute collapse of trust, comes from the one person he might have thought was still a peer. TJ.
Thomas Lawson's grandson.
And Greg's supposed friend, he's the one who reports Greg to the police as a hacker.
Just seals the deal. Nothing at Lawson was real. The friendships, the education, it was all just a thin veneer over this deep institutional rot.
It's a small mercy, I guess, that the source mentions two people helped him pack. Quaynale, the new head boy, and Plank.
A tiny flicker of humanity in the rubble.
But that lasting image, the metaphor that Lawson College no longer felt like a place of learning, it felt like a crime scene. That's brutal.
It's the perfect metaphor, though. It wasn't a crime scene just because of the illegal stuff. It's where his innocence was murdered, where trust was corrupted. It's where his entire moral compass was annihilated.
So what does it all mean for Greg? Driving away in that BMW he paid for with dirty money. We've gone from the idea of freedom to this inescapable weight.
The escape was always doomed. The guilt, the knowledge, it was right there in the passenger seat with him the whole time.
And that psychological toll, that exhaustion, it finally forces him to stop. We come back to him in the present, pulling over for the night in Beaufort West. It's a moment of quiet. A breath.
But the source leaves us on such a chilling note. It says Greg was totally unaware that this pause was just the calm before another storm.
It's not over. The people he exposed, the consequences of what he did, they're still out there.
And that really raises a huge question for you, the listener, to think about. When your whole understanding of right and wrong is tied up in a family conspiracy this deep, can escape ever just be about physical distance?
He can drive hundreds of kilometers, but that inherited guilt.
It's still there.
Yeah.
So does that knowledge have to be confronted, truly dealt with, before any storm can pass? Or is he just destined to carry that crime scene with him forever, no matter where he goes?
The car has stopped for the night, but the price of betrayal is still being calculated. A powerful place to leave it. Thanks for diving deep with us into the wreckage.
Thank you.
For me, yeah, yeah, you've got your love.